Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Warren Buff. He is here from the Raleigh NASFiC bid for 2010. Okay. I have questions that were asked of the WorldCon. I'm going to use them as a basis for asking questions for you. But first, you get 5 minutes. Tell us about the Raleigh NASFiC bid.
Oh, all right. Well, start with the presentation. We are using this NASFiC bid as a first step, sort of a lightning rod, to help Southern Tandem get back involved with national and world fandom, though it's just North American science fiction convention. We're negotiating still with the facilities in downtown Raleigh, the brand new convention center, which is open now, and the attached Marriott, and adjacent to them a Sheraton, which is more established, but the first two are brand new, and the Sheraton is recently remodeled. We're looking at a block of somewhere between 600 and 700 rooms. Still working on the room rates, but we're hoping to get them down as low as we can. Our committee is mostly drawn from around the South, though we have been getting folks from other parts of the country as well. Notably Chris Garcia, Dina and Sydney Krause out of Chicago. We've got to thank them because they've been helping out a lot. We've got folks who've been involved in previous WorldCon NASFiC operations, both in the South and elsewhere. A lot of this is on our flyer, and we are hoping to get Southerners to start coming back to WorldCons in general. We've scheduled the NASFiC, or the prospective NASFiC, for about a month before the Australia WorldCon, in order that folks are able to attend both on separate paychecks, because if I were going to Australia, I would not want to try and attend any other con on that paycheck. It will be a 4-day convention, Thursday through Sunday. As far as transportation goes, we've got the Raleigh-Durham International Airport, which is in between Raleigh and Durham, so you're going to need a cab. But
good thing that.
I thought it was a chapel.
It's close enough to that too. The train comes very close to the convention center. For those of you who like to travel by rail, it is 3 or 4 blocks. I'd have to look at my map to be exact, but I have stood at the convention center and looked at the railway station, and I have stood at the railway station and looked at the convention center. They are within visual range of each other. It is a safe part of town. I would feel perfectly comfortable walking between the train station and the convention center at night. All of our facilities are right next to each other, so it will not be a walking convention unless we need to go to an overflow hotel. We have a few other hotels in downtown Raleigh that we could go to if we need an overflow. And that's a problem I'd love to have.
About 5? Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Okay. First question I have, which is, a lot of these are geared toward the WorldCon, but I will ask you these two, and then we'll take it from there. First question is, what is there in your city that fans will actually enjoy visiting?
Well, when you go down Fayetteville Street, you get to the state capitol. It's still the original state capitol building. And right beyond that is both the Museum of Natural Science and the Museum of History. I know that not everyone's going to be interested in each of those, but we do have the best example of Acrocanthosaurus, which is one of those nice T-Rex looking predators, if any of you like dinosaurs. And it's a decent museum beyond that too, but that's the real showpiece. There are several exhibits in the Museum of History which I haven't been to as recently. But They also have, both of them typically have some traveling exhibitions. If you're driving, then you'd be able to get to things like the Museum of Art, which is fairly good for a southern city, I think. And they're expanding it constantly. Other things in downtown Raleigh. Definitely lots of good places to eat. I checked it out on Google Maps, and within half a mile there's 100 restaurants. They are not all open for every meal every day, but most of them are open for at least lunch and dinner on the weekends.
Okay, actually, let me ask you the next question then real quick. What are the local food options at 3 a.m.?
At 3 a.m., you're probably going to need to get in your car.
Okay.
No cars? No Denny's?
Well, the trouble is what you're talking about is non-campus time, so
Right. It's,
if NC State was still in session, you'd probably have places open.
well, you can, if you are willing to walk about 2 miles, maybe 2.5, you can get to the IHOP. But you're probably better off driving to the IHOP, the Waffle House. There's one to the south.
So there are 24-hour restaurants?
Yes, the Waffle and Pancake House. There's a Denny's, a Perkins Diner. There are several 24-hour diners. They just are drives instead of walking distance.
You mentioned it in your opening. How many hotels do you have planned for? How many do you have available to you? What kind of rooms and rough rates, even today, by today's rates?
Let's see, we have 2 hotels that are adjacent. We are going to be working with them. There's one more that's in the Denver or Montreal walking distance. And there's Days Inn, but as well in that range, but I doubt we'll be contracting with them. There's got to be something in downtown we don't eat up. Beyond that, at a short drive, there are a few more options. Maybe half a dozen more options.
Okay. So you do have a couple of hotels directly connected to?
Yes, well, one directly connected, one adjacent. And as far as rates, I'm hoping that on the high end, the rates will be about 125.
Okay. Any clauses in the contracts that you're working on, such as corkage, rate guarantees, anything like that that you want to mention?
Corkage, we're having a really easy time with being in the South.
Okay.
When I was touring the facilities with Dina, the hotel liaison, or the hotel sales folks said, and this is the room where you can bring in your own alcohol. Okay.
You just get there and say,
Wow.
I said, okay, it's a small room, but we'll keep that in mind.
Let's hear it for Southern Conventions.
Okay. That covers most of my questions on the paperwork. Any questions from the floor?
How many hotel rooms are in the adjacent hotels that will be available?
The attached one, the 400-room hotel, we are looking at walking somewhere around 300 to 350 in that. The one next to that is, it's 350 some hotel rooms. We'd probably look for around 300 plus.
First,
Can you assure us that you don't have that you have a clause in your contract that guarantees that people don't need to do something stupid like has happened at past conventions where they've had to reserve 4 nights even to get 1 or 2 nights?
I haven't got that written in yet, but I will, when we finish the negotiations, I will make sure that that gets brought up. Dan, write that down, please.
How much is parking?
The parking, I think it's within the $5 to $12 a day range. It is not terribly expensive, but you will have to pay.
Is it expected that we will get convention rate for NTAC days, if people want to tack days on the beginning of the end?
Yes.
okay.
Is there a concealed permit?
North Carolina honors concealed carry permits. I don't remember which states we have reciprocity with. You would have to check that yourself. In North Carolina, though, it is illegal to enter a facility that has a liquor license without the owner's permission, so you probably wouldn't want to carry it into the hotel bar.
Okay, there was somebody over there who had another question. Go ahead.
There are 63 days left before your filing deadline.
Yes.
Do you feel confident you'll be able to finish required negotiations with the facilities, et cetera, by that time?
Yes.
What arrangements have been made for disabled vans? How accessible is the site?
The site is fairly accessible. I'm going to do a walkthrough with a few of my friends who are disabled to make sure it's as accessible as it looks to me. As far as the arrangements, I keep badgering the hotels, asking them about ramps and such. Since the Marriott and the Convention Center are brand new, they will probably be more accessible than the Sheraton.
What is the name of the airline that you can fly to Australia and back on one paycheck?
However, I'd guess that American is the easiest one to fly with. They seem to have the most flights out of RDO.
How large a convention are you anticipating?
We are trying to make sure that we are ready for a 1,500 and ready to expand up to 3,000. Obviously, the hotel rooms will get trickier if we hit 3,000. Those are the historical ranges of NASFiC, discounting the first one and the DragonCon.
How many people on your committee have worked on a 1,500 and 3,000 person convention?
About half the committee.
What conventions?
Some WorldCon, some NASFiC, and yes, some the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
What about local tobacco use? Is like, yeah, I know that tends to be a heavier smoker area.
Both of the hotels are completely smoke-free facilities, which disappoints some of my friends. The Days Inn is the only smokers hotel in downtown, but in general, most restaurants will have both smoking and non-smoking, but some are completely non-smoking.
And what about on the street, outside the door?
The street, it's perfectly allowed to smoke on the street.
Yeah.
Tobacco is a very big industry for us.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Any other questions? Back in the back?
It's a two-part question. One, what is the weather like, and how about hurricanes?
We have been, the weather in general is going to be warm to hot and fairly humid, it being August in the south. It is not nearly as bad as points further south and west. We don't tend to have a lot of rain, but you'll probably see one rainy day within that convention. As for hurricanes, the last time that Raleigh itself was actually hit by a hurricane was Hurricane Fran in 1996. That was a 100-year storm. Obviously, you can have 200-year storms in a year, as New Orleans unfortunately saw, but it is unlikely that we would see a hurricane. We might see the tail end of a tropical depression.
Any other questions? Okay. Wow.
Are you concerned about the Deb's House in 2010 NASFiC discussion?
I wasn't aware Deb's House had switched over to a full-blown NASFiC, but if Deb would like to bid against me, she is welcome to enter the field.
Okay. Thanks a lot.